Hey everyone, we got some shortages showing up here in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. We're going to walk you through what we're seeing on the store shelves here so you can compare that to where you are and so that you can go to the store kind of aware of what might be short in your area as well, so you can be looking out for deals or to snag things that you need to grab. I'll also be giving you a couple of hints on how to get stocked up, a couple items that I think are great items to add to your little stockpile that you may not have thought about as we go along. Let's jump right into the pictures. We're going to start here at Aldi, and the dairy section has been kind of hit or miss. At Walmart, Aldi, we've been seeing just issues with dairy in general. It tends to be the more specialized items that we see the worst at. Regular milk, you can see a couple of pallets back here in the background that needed to be pushed forward, but they had them in stock. So there's that. We also seeing some of the yogurts kind of out of stock. Just that's kind of what we've been seeing for the last number of months, has been just certain varieties just kind of go missing for no apparent reason. So we have whipped cream cheese, of course, and now that does seem to be on sale by 10 cents, but still, we've been seeing whipped cream cheese missing at Aldi for quite a while now. Some of the pork products, sausages and such, were not fully stocked. Now, we want to hold off judgment too much on the fresh meat section because that can be stocked very quickly, and usually that is the case. They usually have more in the back or something like that. With the canned goods, though, we have been getting a few concerns from some of you guys out there saying that food banks seem to be running out of canned goods, and we're seeing that on the store shelves, that stores seem to be having a hard time keeping canned goods on the shelves. Traditionally, they used to have quite a bit on the shelves. If they have space for it, they just use it to stock more items, but nowadays it seems like they're just a lot thinner, lots of empty spots. And even when they have stuff in those spots, there's room in the background a lot of times, right? So chicken broth, as well as some varieties of beef broth missing, and then there's luncheon meat. But like, just look at all that empty space. These retail companies are paying. In this case, Aldi is paying for that shelf space, and yet they're not using it. That tells you something's wrong, because they want to use all that shelf space. They don't like having empty spaces because it makes you feel like there's not enough stuff on the shelf and makes you less likely to buy. So they'd rather put just random stuff that they will never sell on that shelf. Jasmine rice is a little bit low here. They do have white rice, other varieties of ready-to-make meals, looking light there and sparse. Toilet paper looked a little low, nothing crisis or anything like that, but I've just been noticing that over the last couple of months too. At Walmart, the toilet paper aisle always seems to be about half full, which I don't know. Maybe it's just they're just taking their time restocking or what. But some of the cleaning on the cleaning aisle at Aldi, there just were a number of gaps, and just that's not a good look. For the stores to have empty spaces. Now I'll skip over to Sam's Club here, and this is what we're seeing here. This is in the fresh produce section. Like, there used to be a giant stack of pallets here. There usually is, but they were just gone. They didn't have anything to put out there, and that's kind of concerning. So fresh produce or fruit usually goes there. We do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. If you want to get some information on how you can diversify your retirement funds into gold, silver, and platinum, some of your funds or all of them, you might want to talk to Jonathan and his team. Just tell them that you come from this video, this channel. That way they'll waive your setup fee. We negotiated that with them, so we appreciate what they do here too. Some of the, this is still at Sam's Club, but some of the mac and cheese was not fully stocked there. Now here's a hint for you guys. Ramen noodles, everyone knows it's cheap, and you say, well, I don't like ramen noodles. Or maybe you do like ramen noodles. If you have any teenagers in the house, I'm sure you have plenty of these on hand, right? But just getting some extras of these is just some stacks of big boxes of these. It's something that you can hand out very easily. It's something that you can reconstitute in hot water very easily as well. You can just pour boiling water on it and just let it soak. It'll turn into something edible, and they keep for a fairly well time. These are dated out to 9/25/24, so they're basically good for best buy date is 1 year out. And just recently, as I was rotating some stock, I did some test eating of some ramen noodles that was 2 years past the best buy date, and they were fine. They didn't smell off. They tasted fine. So 2 years out, easy. So you can rotate these every 3 years if you want to do that. So that's a hint along the way there too. Excuse me, my voice is still catching up with me. The frozen potatoes, we haven't been seeing too many issues recently with that, but some varieties still don't seem to be coming back on the shelf full, and that's kind of concerning. And it seems like it rotates what kinds are not getting on the shelf. Some of these hash browns are having trouble. Not sure what's up with that. It looks like we should be getting the potato harvest that we got this fall should be hitting the shelves soonish. So we're seeing those fresh potatoes starting to hit in the bins and everything like that. We should start seeing that show up at the frozen potato aisle too. Pizzas are having issues out there though. That's something that we're seeing across the board. Frozen pizzas, just a lot of empty gaps. Certain varieties just can't keep their stuff in stock. And this is not such a demand issue. This is a supply issue. They're not being able to produce these things. Some of these food factories are just not pumping out the pizzas like they usually do. So as people will tell you down in the comments, super easy to make your own pizzas. But sometimes just more convenient that way too for a lot of us. But coffee. We've been kind of keeping an eye on coffee because we've had some issues with coffee in Vietnam, Indonesia, as well as down in South America. But we still aren't seeing any kind of real serious impact on the shelf except for price increases in the United States. Some of the generic varieties seem to be a little harder to get your hands on, but they're still keeping them mostly in stock. We've mostly been seeing issues with decaf. Let me know if you guys have been seeing issues getting decaf coffee. But that's that. I laugh because as I took this picture and walked across the store, by the time I got back across the store, this bin of 98-cent a pound turkeys, this bin was almost empty. Just in the time it took me to walk to the back of the store, taking some pictures and then walking back to the front of the store. That didn't click until just now. I guess when I was walking back out, I was there like, man, that bin was emptier than I thought it was. But no, looking at the picture, that's not the case. So there are some good deals on turkeys already. 98 cents a pound is not great, but that's not bad. That's not too bad. You're not doing too terrible if you get that, right? If you're waiting for your 67-cent or 60-cent a pound, that may be coming up shortly in the near future. With the chili, I've never seen quite so much chili. It seems to be multiplying itself on the shelf. There's just more and more chili. And that's something I'm just seeing more as I look at it. It's taking up more and more shelf space, and we're seeing less and less of the canned meats. Look down there at the canned beef. It is sort of on sale down there, it looks like. But four cans of Keystone beef on the bottom shelf there. There's some ground beef up there in the middle shelf, but a lot less than what they normally have. Canned turkey, super short, and still no Keystone pork. There is Spam on the shelf, and there is Vienna sausages, but some issues there, but nothing too serious. When we see the tuna fish, they seem to be having a slower turnaround on that because just they're not using all the boxes quite so much anymore. They have been using boxes in all these slots. They seem to be condensing that area, and they're still not keeping that area full, even with the condensed. Mashed potatoes, we've been keeping an eye on them as well. The Great Value brand has definitely come back pretty strong, but some of the name brand, like what is it, the Jack's one, just hasn't been back on the shelf. Idahoan has reappeared, and then this mashed potato brand up there. I'm not sure what kind of brand that is, but that's a new one to all of us, or at least in this neck of the woods. Stovetop stuffing has definitely showed up in force, and that's looking pretty good. Last year and the year before, we had issues with having enough stuffing. This is kind of a tip for you guys out there. Minced garlic in water. These jars of garlic, they keep for a very long time, especially if they're in your fridge. They'll last forever in your fridge. And you can pop them open, start scooping garlic out. It does have antibiotic properties, as a lot of people will tell you. And there is kind of some health benefits to having it like this as opposed to the dried. And this, if you want to add seasonings to your stockpile, minced garlic in water is a great way to do that. That's a lot of flavor in just a small little bottle, and it's not that expensive. Salad dressings definitely are thinner than where they have been in the past. A lot of the bottles seem to be spread out, and some of the varieties are really kind of low. We've been seeing that ever since the Italian dressing recall over at Aldi. And also, we think that also has something to do with the fact that we're having issues with vinegar. Vinegar is definitely lower than what we're used to seeing. As you can see right there on the shelf, that's a lot lower than where it should be. All right, pickles. I believe the vinegar is also impacting the pickles, but it just less than normal. Rice has lost some more space, and the pinto beans continue to take over the whole section, and some other varieties like brown rice and stuff like that taking over the white rice. As we know that prices out there are continuing to go upward. We see the price of rice here in Pittsburgh has just gone up again. The white rice there, generic, up to $11.14 now. It was like $10.50 a couple of weeks ago, I think, or a couple months ago. Haven't bought it in a month or two, but we seem to be having issues with the tomato products too. Canned tomatoes just not fully stocked, and they just can't seem to keep them on shelf. At the Walmart, seeing the ramen noodles starting to get eaten up a little bit is concerning, because that is kind of the indication that people are starting to prep out there. You know, the newbies jumping into prepping, start grabbing some ramen noodles, or when normal people start panicking, they start grabbing ramen noodles. That's just what always happens. In the spice section, looking a little more bare than what we're normally used to seeing. And in the salt section, we're also seeing that it's not fully stocked. We have plain salt, but we don't have any iodized salt. So if you're going for Great Value iodized salt, they just don't have it on the shelf right now. I mean, that is a shortage, and that is kind of, now you have to, if you want iodized salt, you're going to have to buy name brand there. That's just the way it is on that one. We're still having salt issues out there. A number of you guys have been reporting that all week, that you're having water softener, salt issues and stuff like that. Cooking oils are looking a little bit better, but still not fully stocked on that. We are starting to see sunflower oil starting to show back up, which is a nice thing to see. We haven't seen that for almost a year. So some of the varieties of oil showing back up, but still looking pretty weak, and that is in the shrunk down section that they have here at the Walmart. Flour looking a little wiped out compared to what it normally is, but there still is some there. Some of the name brand ones really struggling to stay on the shelf. And then we have the more tomato products in cans and jars. That is that is definitely an ongoing problem that we're seeing. With the pasta, seems to be fairly well stocked, except for the penne and ziti, just certain varieties they can't seem to keep on the shelf. This is right in the afternoon, late afternoon, and so this thing should have been stocked for the evening rush, but as you can see, some of the evening rush was going to not be able to get their penne or their ziti, and that's just kind of showing just kind of where things are with the stocking of that. Egg noodles, they've been having issues with egg noodles for a while now too, and some of the specialty noodles. So if you need something, you need to go to the store and find it and grab it when you can find it. Some of the specialty dairy products with the chocolate milk, and I'm not even sure what the pink caps and the green caps are, but this whole section of the dairy section was definitely quite low and sparse. We're seeing issues here once again. Just they're not able to keep all these things on the shelf, and that just kind of points to supply issues there. They know how much people want to buy, but yet they're not keeping it on the shelf. And these aren't just a generic going off the shelf. We see name brand stuff here, and so name brand stuff going off the shelf should tell you that these guys, they want to sell that stuff, but they can't. And it's not just the cheap end stuff. Also, some of the heavy creams over there on the far left are pretty low there, and those are not necessarily like flavored stuff, but just natural creams and everything. Still having issues with the iced teas for some reason. We still think that is due to the plastics issue, possibly, but it's been a long time, and they still haven't seemed to be able to figure out their supply chain on that. On the cream cheeses, still seeing some minor disruptions there with the whipped cream cheeses, some specialty cream cheeses, but other than that, they seem to be fairly well stocked, but sometimes a little low in supply. Butter, bars of butter, having some struggle there. You can see the supply is a little low there. And in the other dairy section, cottage cheeses, a lot of these sour creams and that kind of stuff, they're just struggling to keep them on the shelves, even things like dip. So I know that looks like a lot of dip, but it's actually a lot less than what normally is up there, which really just kind of shows that they're struggling to keep that up there. Please do keep your reports coming in on what you guys are seeing on your store shelves. Use the word update on a comment on any one of the videos on this channel, and give us some sort of geographical location as well. Also, cookie dough, biscuit dough, all these fresh doughs and stuff like that, there's a lot of gaps right there. I don't know if that's just because everyone just started baking this weekend or what, but definitely way lower than normal. Well, so thanks for watching the video. If you want to find out more about Genesis Gold Group, there's a link on the screen right there. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's also one on the screen right there. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.